while Marvel and DC have built entire film franchises based on popular comic book characters, the movies and shows have made an impact on the comic side too, with some original characters of their own. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, has made the most popular and profitable movies within the superhero genre of all time, but it's not just fame and fortune that the MCU has given back to Marvel. The extensive range of stories stretching out over more than a decade has created popular new characters that now appear in the comics. Likewise, the DCU's former TV and film properties have been responsible for introducing some of the most interesting and popular characters from DC today, who now star in their own comics. These characters have the unique privilege of being among the few out of thousands to come from the other side, and through their sheer likability, become staples in the comics. From the super powerful to the super funny, these are a few of the incredible characters made for TV, film and radio, before being adapted to the comics. Marvel's What If has been responsible for bringing some incredibly unique and interesting new concepts to the MCU, but it also debuted a brand new Marvel character. In What If? Season 2, Kahori plays a central role in the show when the Mohawk woman falls into a magical lake and is imbued with superpowers. And while the MCU has introduced a number of other original characters to the Marvel comics, Kahori has the distinct privilege of being the first new superhero to come from the MCU. Her first appearance in Marvel Comics is in a new title series starring the character, which was published in late 2024. However, now that the character has had their first official appearance, there are plenty of opportunities for them to cross over with the rest of the Marvel comics, and potentially live-action movies in the years ahead. For now, she remains one of the newest additions to the Marvel lineup. 9. Wonder Twins. First appearance, the all-new Super Friends Hour. The Wonder Twins fall into the category of odd superheroes whose powers exclude them from many other mainstream stories, but they can be a fun addition to many stories. The twins, Zon and Jaina, are aliens who have the power to shapeshift into anything. However, their powers come with one significant caveat. The pair need to be physically touching in order to activate their powers. Obviously, this can create challenges if they were members of a top-notch superhero team, like the Justice League. However, when they were first introduced in 1977 as part of the all-new Super Friends Hour, they made enough of an impression to transition from the show to the comics. The Wonder Twins are often aimed at a younger audience, which meant they didn't have huge success for DC, but with some redesigns and improvements over the years, the characters are now a frequent part of the DC universe of stories. 8. John Diggle. First appearance, Arrow. The Arrowverse was one of the best and most exciting TV adaptations of superhero stories, with interconnected shows that created an interesting multiverse on the small screen. But even before they began working on major crossovers and events like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the flagship show, Arrow, was making waves for DC. Most notably, this happened when the show introduced a character by the name of John Diggle, who worked closely with Oliver Queen. However, while it may appear like Diggle played a pivotal role in the life of Oliver Queen, in a function that is somewhat similar to Jimmy Olsen for Superman, or Robin for Batman, Diggle didn't exist before the show began. The character was created to help elevate Queen from an isolated vigilante whose popularity in the comics was never astronomical, to a hero more akin to the main supers. And that is exactly what Diggle did, elevating the Green Arrow's status as a hero, and growing to become a hero in his own right. 7. Firestar. First appearance, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. In 1981, Marvel introduced a brand new hero through the animated show, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Angelica Jones, aka Firestar, has the ability to manipulate heat and microwave radiation. Applying the opposites attract ideology to the character, Firestar initially appeared in the show as a former member of the X-Men, and someone who had been very close, and possibly even romantically involved, with Iceman. The series wanted to use the character, the Human Torch, but at the time when they hoped to write a story featuring the character, the rights for using them were tied up. So, the creatives behind the show decided to introduce a new hero with a similar power set, and as a result, Firestar was born. Now, the character has been appearing in comics for decades with several other super teams and solo. While many of these characters were created decades after the comics got a foothold in popular media, DC Comics and Marvel Comics started operating under different names way back in the 1930s. DC Comics was originally known as National Comics Publication, and it wasn't until around 1940 that it became more commonly known as DC Comics, and best known for the superhero stories, including The Incredible Superman.